So this video is going to be a bit different from all my other ones because we are instead talking about an article I found over a month ago, and it involves this little purple guy. This article was written back on November 1st, and I had actually found it on that day, but didn't have the time to make a video talking about it, and now I do. So let's real quick explore it. I'll also leave a link to the article in the description for you. This article was written by IGN, and talks about players of Super Mario Bros. Wonder voicing concerns and opinions on Yoshi and Nabbit's playstyles. There are two things that players are talking about, which is the two different characters are taking no damage, and they can't use power-ups, calling the characters, quote, forced easy mode, end quote. Now, as someone who's been playing Mario games since I was 6, starting with Super Mario Galaxy and having beat Super Mario 64 on a school Chromebook, I feel like I hold a good position to talk about this. So let's start with Yoshi. Yoshi was first introduced back in 1990 with Super Mario World, where he was rideable. The character was designed to have a few abilities, which were eating fruits and enemies, the flutter jump, and a secret ability where Yoshi got abused. To make sure Yoshi could survive a little longer, Nintendo made it so that he was invincible from everything but pits, lava and poison, and being squished. These are all the components that Yoshi has had since the first game he was in, meaning that for 33 years, Yoshi has not had his abilities changed inside a mainline Mario game. So why are players now complaining about Yoshi's playstyle? Because we've never been able to play as Yoshi before. And no, we are not counting the party games like Mario Kart or Mario Party. So please, for the love of all of Nintendo's IPs, don't diss Yoshi because he is easy mode. He has been designed this way from the very beginning and has always been this way. But what about Nabbit, I hear you ask? Well, I got some words for you. You don't get to diss Nabbit until you fucking understand his past. Okay, Nabbit is probably one of the most underrated and forgotten characters when it comes to the roster of characters in these games. He hasn't been in a mainline Mario game since New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe back in 2019, where he was actually playable, though I barely count this game since it's almost the exact same as the previous version of the game. Before this, however, he appeared in New Super Mario Bros. U back in 2012. The naming of these games is going to give me an aneurysm. He wasn't playable, but instead could be found on the map entering levels. When you met him, he taps his bag, which seems to have some items stored in it. Why is it that Mario uses power-ups instantly, but Nabbit doesn't? It's because he's a fucking thief. According to the Mario Wiki, being a thief, he steals items, particularly from Toad houses, before running away with them in his bag, which he almost always carries with him, end quote. When Nabbit finally was a playable character, players found him to be labeled easiest, and would find out why, as Nabbit had the same death conditions as Yoshi, but just couldn't flutter jump. And get this, instead of using items, he picks them up, turning them into 1-ups at the end of the level. Now I would say that's even more easy mode than what we do in Mario Wonder with Nabbit, which instead of power-ups becoming 1-ups, it's power-ups becoming flower coins. However, he can still hold items for players in the one designated spot. I do think, though, with these backstories, it's easier to understand why players don't fully like their playstyle. Let's think back for a second. What was the last mainline Mario game that was released? It can be argued either New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe back in 2019 or Mario Odyssey in 2017. And for this purpose, let's use Odyssey. Since October 2017, what major Mario IP games have come out? Tennis, Super Mario Party, Smash Bros, not Hose, Mario Bros. U Deluxe, Mario Maker 2, Mario Kart Tour, Paper Mario The Origami King, Mario Party Superstars, and Messi vs. Ronaldo. So out of the games I've just listed, which is 9, Nabbit appears in 3 or 4 of them. As well as this, the most played Mario game before Mario Wonder was Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which we have been playing for 6 years, and not once has Nabbit appeared in it. So back to the article. When I see people complaining about Yoshi and Nabbit, I see why now. For one, we haven't really considered Yoshi's abilities as a playable character since his introduction. And when it comes to Nabbit, newer players, or I guess more specifically people who started getting into Mario and Nintendo and all that in the last 1 to 5 years, don't know his background, and even less probably care about finding out. So remember that while you may not like it, both Yoshi and Nabbit are designed correctly in accordance with their past, and in some cases are actually more fair than their previous one. So until next time, I will continue to stay here and struggle with my existential dread of existing on the 2D plane. Hey there, I just wanted to real quick drop in and say Merry Christmas, and I hope you all have a good rest of your year, and I will see you in 2024.